Ahoy ahoy to all you smooth sailors out there, and welcome aboard the DeckTales Podcast. I'm your host and captain, Sammy Catlin, and this is the show where we set sail into the captivating world of ship life. Most of the time, delving into the best and worst experiences of the incredible crew members who called the open sea their workplace, but I'm open to the odd exception as well. Whether we're navigating stunning destinations to weathering unexpected storms, our guests all have stories to tell that will make you laugh, gasp, and maybe even shed an unexpected tear. So if you're a seasoned cruiser eagerly awaiting your next embarkation, or just curious as to what goes on at sea, DeckTales is your boarding pass to a world of nautical narratives. My guest today is Mrs. Snejina Simeonova-Havewalla, who spent 8 years on board ships, working her first contract on a ferry as a housekeeper, and then moved over to cruise ships and changed departments to work in the shops and eventually working her way up to manager. We were on the same ship back when I was just starting out, so her memories of me were all filled with joy before life had a chance to spoil me. She had some crazy wild stories, so let's anchor up and dive right in. Snejji!
Hi.
How are you, my dear?
Oh my God, we grow old.
Do you know who I had on? I was speaking to Tommy, the guitarist of the band.
Yeah, of course. We are keeping in touch with him, yeah.
Yeah, and so I haven't seen you since I've seen him, which was back in 2006.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I was the youngest I possibly could have been.
Yeah.
And
You've
now...
been a boy. I mean, like my remembers of you, it's just a nice, sweet boy, really. And now I see you like a man, like a grown-up man.
Oh,
It's not that
yeah.
I'm not following you, like online. I mean, like on Facebook.
It's
But
fine. I don't put
but it's
anything on there.
Yeah, but it's different, it's just crazy.
Yeah, time changes everything. And obviously, being white, I age horribly.
No, no way.
Gracefully.
No.
I don't know.
You look amazing, actually. I
Oh,
can
stop
say
it. I don't need this.
No, it suits you.
But how are you? Hey, how have you been?
Crazy. It's amazing as usual. My life, it's really amazing.
Who are you working for now? Are you working for yourself? Are you still working in industry?
I am working actually 2 places. First of all, it's for myself. I am a personal coach, personal growth coach. Yeah. I'm working with people not only for life changes, but also for a business, when they want to achieve something and they want somebody to help them on their way of achieving their goals. Yeah, so from the business perspective as well, I am giving sometimes on like a freelance, I'm going and I'm making some trainings for big companies for their teams as like a mediator between the upper level management and the workers. And I'm doing like games for them and just helping them out. Otherwise, my normal job, 9 to 5, I'm a leader business trainer for Bulgaria and North Macedonia for Avon.
Avon calling.
Yeah, Avon calling.
It just reminds me of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, so it's my last endeavor, let's say, for the last 1.5 years or something like this.
But
pretty serious job, I can say. I mean, responsible for more than 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's the leaders of the country from Bulgaria and North Macedonia. So I am responsible for their business trainings and everything, what is coming, from the headquarters to these 2 countries and making sure everything. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot. It would make my tiny head explode.
But I love it. I mean, I am a workaholic anyway, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so let's go back in time, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we go back?
Yeah.
Forget all about this Avon nonsense and all of this.
It's like let's go back to another life. It's not about time. It's another lifetime.
Let's go back to a time when before you were giving people coaching on life skills and management and games and how to better themselves and all of this stuff and Avon calling and how to apply your mascara. Let's go back to the time when you were just a humble shop worker working on board
Exactly.
the cruise ships. I mean,
Shopee.
Shopee, that's the term, isn't it?
Shopee. Yeah, Shopee.
Like a Steiner is somebody that works in a salon. A Shopee is very self-explanatory. It's somebody that works in a shop and, they sell the stuff that you forgot to pack, basically, and they make money on you. But you obviously didn't just do that one ship, the Thompson Destiny, back in town. How many years did you do, Snejina?
Almost 8.
Oh.
Almost 8, yeah.
Double mine.
Yeah, because I actually started from another company, not as the same company. It's Louis Cruise Lines.
Gonna say Cruise Lose. That's my book title.
Yeah. And it was another ship. I mean, I was actually in the housekeeping. My first contract, it was a housekeeping.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was on something like a ferry thing.
They have housekeeping on ferries.
Yeah, but it was like a huge, massive ship, but it was an ex-ferry. But still, it was like a amazingly huge. It's not from the small ferries. It was really huge, massive, and again, it was under the Thompson. Then I went to Emerald, and then later on, I joined P&O Cruises.
So ferry, Thompson's, P&O. Those were the four. Stages.
Yeah.
How long were you with P&O for? Like 4 years or so?
Till 2010.
From
2007.
Okay. So you did a couple ships with Thompson then? It wasn't just the Emerald, the Destiny.
Yeah. Sapphire. I've been on Sapphire as well, but I don't think that it was under the Thompson cruising.
Sapphire is a different company.
No, Sapphire is the cruise ship.
Oh, who owns that? Lewis.
I think it was Lewis.
And for those people that don't know, Lewis isn't really a company. It's more like a ship broker.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
But I don't know if they're still around.
Oh, to tell you honestly, I also don't know.
Well, it probably doesn't matter because the ship itself is probably gone as well.
Oh, they're definitely gone. I mean, like Sapphire, it was more or less, I was calling it a boat because it was really a small one. It was like 700 700 crew and around 1,000 passengers. And it was going only on Red Sea and, the Suez Canal.
Imagine that, though. 1,000 passengers. I mean, you're leading that many people at Avon right now.
Yeah. Can you imagine? My God, I didn't look at it from this perspective only.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Not just the host of podcast. I drop the philosophical bombshells sometimes. Like, wow, my life. 30 years on, not 30. What is it? 15 years nearly. And it's sad to think that all of these places we went and the vessels we travelled on, they're all gone. Most of them.
Most of them, they're gone, yeah. Actually, till the last one, everything from there behind, I mean, everything is lost. Everything is already chopped.
Yeah. But we're at the beginning of life in the sense of like, I'm not 40 yet. I mean, I'm 37 just turned. So my life is going to begin in 3 years. That's what I tell myself.
Okay.
They say life begins at 40. So
I'm very close to 50 already, please.
Well, Avon is doing a good job.
Oh, thank you. I will tell them.
Yeah.
Actually, I went on the ships quite late. I mean, like, I joined the ships when I was 27.
Oh.
I mean, like, I was a media director here in Bulgaria, and the circumstances,
what medical doctor?
Not medical, marketing and media director.
Marketing media, right.
Yeah. So I was working for advertising agency, and the economical circumstances here in the country wasn't very good that time. So, like, I just said to myself, I mean, like, I'm going to stay here and just drown myself in debt, or I'm just going to do something completely ridiculously different. And I'm going to go out from the country.
So you went from being a marketing and media manager to being a housekeeper?
Yeah, to clean toilets, actually, yeah.
Well, that is that's a big drop.
Yep. It's huge, massive. But to tell you honestly, I mean, all my life, I'm not afraid of jobs as long as they are serving the purpose for the moment. I mean, like, doesn't matter if it's cleaning toilets or like I'm going to be somebody who is going to be responsible for 1,000 people. Doesn't matter for me. And if I enjoy it in the same time, it's a bonus. It's amazing. But, we are having a saying in Bulgaria, there is no shameful job. I mean, like work, like the work is work. And as long as it puts bread on your table and it's satisfying your family and you're taking care of it, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
But I can say that my work on the ships, it enhanced me so much and gave me so much in perspective of, I can do it. And this, this attitude, and I'm capable of doing it, and the discipline and everything, that I can't be more grateful that I made this decision back that time, and I went on the ships and I just actually stuck with them almost 8 years.
Well, that's a great way to end the episode. Thanks very much, Snejina. It's lovely to have you on.
Thank you very much.
I have to put that at the end.
I know.
Let's go back. No, I'm joking, of course. But in the 8 years you were on ships, did you just work in the shop? Sorry, you did the housekeeping.
I do the housekeeping, and then my second contract, I went already as a Shopee. Yeah. Then after the Shopee, I went as an assistant shop manager, and after the assistant shop manager, I went as a manager.
Okay, so shop. What
shop.
Yes, absolutely crazy about it. What sort of jobs? Just for those who might be completely oblivious, what does the job of a Shopee entail?
Oh my gosh!
Where
to start?
What kind of stuff were you selling, and what were your day-to-day duties?
So it depends how big is the ship, but you can end up with 11 different shops. Let's say my last ship, it had completely different 11 different shops. Like in one you're selling alcohol and cigarettes, in the other one you can sell like a small trinkets and small bits and bobs, like a 1 pound shop type of on land. You have something on the ship. You have the very luxury one where you're selling, let's say, jewelries, which are 40, 50,000, 100 pounds, or watches. And then you're having the clothing sections where you have obviously clothes for children, for ladies, and for gentlemen. Then you're having the perfumery and cosmetic. You're having the logo shops, you can have off the ship, like with all the logo items that you're having. And then you're having like the kiosk where you have all these small bits that you said that you forgot to buy them, like a small, like a
toothbrush,
Maltesers, or seasickness bracelet, or some.
I never got those bracelets. Did those bracelets, did you ever need them? Did you ever use them?
I've been very bad seasicker, man. I've been having a very bad seasickness. I mean, all through my 8 years. Yeah.
Wow.
This never worked for me. I was actually taking like a serious drugs. I mean, like it's called Dramamine, I think, in English.
Dramamine. You have it injected into the buttocks?
Sometimes when we had a very, very, very bad rough sea, but full disclosure here on the episodes, if somebody is seasick, have a shot of rum on an empty stomach early in the morning.
Before you have the shot in your bum?
Before you have a shot in your bum, try with a shot of rum. This will do, sort of.
Yeah, that's great advice from a life coach. Gonna get that as a plaque on the ship gangway before you enter. I love that.
You know the tale, like a yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum, like the pirates, what they're doing. Yeah, they're singing this song, like a ho-ho-ho and a bottle of rum or something like this. All the time that you see them with a bottle of rum, it's coming from there.
That's how they combated.
This is the seasickness. I don't know what is the connection, but I have my own explanation. You're becoming drunk and then you're going together with the ship.
Yeah, exactly. It evens out. And I think you can be different types of drunk. And I think rum is like a happy drunk.
The happy one, yeah.
The happy drunk. So you don't drink rum, people. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you also said you sold those seasickness bracelets.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a bracelet, and here, I think it's called like a 3 fingers from your end of your palm.
Yeah.
Like from this side, if you can see, yeah, and then over here there is a point pressure.
Yes. So there's
pressure,
a ball
pressure point. Yeah.
There's a ball that's stitched into the bracelet, and that rests on the pressure point of your wrist.
Exactly, all the time, and this is leveling up actually the inner ear. I assume.
Oh yeah.
Something the
equilibrium.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you needed the heavy stuff because those.
I needed the heavy stuff. Actually, when I joined the ship, my first day only, I landed. I was in Palma de Mallorca. And we boarded the ship over there. And I was traveling with one boy who was in the housekeeping for, I think, the past 15 years. So he was like a very experienced one. And we boarded the ship and he was like, stick to me, like I will tell you what to do. And don't worry, like I'm going to be with you. And he was pointing me direction and we signed our contract. It was really stressful for me because it was completely out of my scope, out of my life experience till now. And shortly after we signed the contract, they sent us down to the laundry to take our uniforms. And while we were staying down, because it's like 4 or 5 decks under the sea level, And when you go down, I don't know what happened, but I start sweating, like I will start having like a sweat. And I was like, okay, probably it's anxiety, like it's something completely new. I'm stressed out. It's obviously normal. But then I start feeling, like a sick type of, not only, like a stressed out, but like a sick type of, and my visions start to go behind my head. You move your head and then your vision is somehow, like a delay, exactly when you're drunk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's happening? And I shared with him and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm going to use very bad word, like you're fucked. And I'm like, why? He's like, you're seasick. And I'm like, how is it possible to be seasick? We are docked. The ship is not moving. How I can be a seasick? You lost it. As much as I knew that time, and I'm like, are you crazy? Seasick are the people that when you go and you start traveling, he's like, no, you're seasick, you're going to see. And I didn't believe him, took my uniform, everything, I went to the cabin that we were leaving, put my luggage, everything, and I, went to rest for some time. And then in the evening, they joined us, for welcome directions and everything, what we should do and who we should mirror or whatever. And then I was with 2 Romanian girls that they've been also quite experienced. They were, let's say, their 4th, 5th contract already on board. And they were showing me things in the passengers' cabins, here you have to clean and you have to start from here and this and that. And in some point, I just lost it. First time in my life, I knocked out.
What? Just completely out like a light?
Like a light, knocked out ever. I never knocked out in my life. This is the only time till now even in my life. And I am, coming into my senses and I am being dragged to the elevator with two Romanian girls to bring me down to the medical center where they gave me the shot. And they sent me to the cabin. And like 20 minutes later on, the housekeeping manager, she just called me and she said, are you ready? Go.
Yeah.
Ready, steady, go. And I'm like,
not really.
Are you crazy? I am dying eternally, And I have to supposedly go to work now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is.
Do you get travel sick in the car, or is it?
Not actually.
That's weird.
It has to be really like a very wavy, crooked, like a path, like to feel some sickness.
Okay. But over the years on ships, did you get better at it?
No,
Never?
no, never,
Why
never,
did you
never.
stick at it?
I love that so much, Sam.
Oh,
It's something that it's going in your veins.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah.
it's something that you can't explain, to people, because once you get on board, doesn't matter what is your and how exhausted you are, because the
Yeah.
only thing that I can compare the work on the ship, it's military. Because,
Oh,
yeah,
come now.
because you're 24/7,
Yeah.
on duty. You are having, your things to do. I mean, like, you have your job, and then you're having the responsibility towards the ship and towards the passengers, which is not seen from this perspective. I mean, from the passengers, it's not your working position, but in the same time, you are either having, let's say, a responsibility during the drills, or you have to stay on board because 1/3 of the crew has to stay on board on every port,
Port Manning.
so port manning, yeah. So I mean, like, you are constantly there, and the rules there from everywhere. You have rules for everything, from the morning when you peeing, the evening when you go to sleep. There are rules, what you should not do and what you should do. So it's the only thing that I compare. It's a military, yeah. And
Have you been in the military?
No. I've been having military trainings in my school. Like, when I was in the gymnasium, we used to have a class which was a military training, and I've been shooting with the
Rifles.
with the rifles, and going on a battle, and we were having a lot of all this mock stuff, yeah. But
Nothing compared to cruise ships.
yeah, I can say that the cruise ships, it's very, very hard working place, and everybody who is on the ships, really, I admire every department.
So, just my memory, you're Bulgarian.
Yeah, Bulgarian, yeah.
Oh, bitch, I'm potato.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, still bichum. That means I love you too.
You know what's weird? The only bit of Bulgarian I ever learned, and it is weird, is I love you and the word supol.
Boogie.
Bogey, yeah.
Boogie.
So, which part of Bulgaria are you from?
I'm from the capital, from Sofia.
From Sofia, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's your. You've been there all your life. This is where you always.
All my life, always, yeah.
So
I'm from the capital, yeah.
Outside of Sofia, where's the best place and the worst place you've been?
This is very hard to say, Sam. I mean,
I know. All right, well, best. You could say best for the beach, or best for the city, or best for the history. One of each. You could say least.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm sorry, I can't say this.
Okay.
I can't tell, because I can tell you honestly that Bulgaria, it's a very small country, really, really very small. It's like a dot on the map. But we've combined everything. We have a sea, we have lakes, we have rivers, we have mountains, we have ski resorts, we have seaside resorts, we have spas, we have more than 300 mineral different types of water. I mean, like, we're having so many things and so many, in such a small place.
I'm booking my flight as we speak. Just,
you come.
I'm going to come and have a spa break. What would you say is, across the 8 years, your standout, scariest moment?
Wow. I can remember one thing that it really scared me a lot. It was a very bad rough sea. We were going from Canary Islands towards Agadir, Morocco. This is a place where everybody should know that they can expect rough sea, because it's the actual place where the Atlantic Ocean is going to the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
And over there, it's always crazy. No matter what ships I've been traveling with, there it's always crazy. But this experience, it was really bad, because we have reached 11.5 balls of waves. and 13 is the max that you can, the ship can stay actually float before it goes down and get broken.
Wow.
So it was really, really, really very scary experience, because it was actually the only time when I had to follow everything, all the steps that we are usually training on the drills. We had to go to our master stations. We had to deal with, and that time I remember that my place, it was in a corridor with the passenger cabins, and I had to take care of the really, really very scared passengers. I have literally walking on the walls, like from one side down through the other wall. I've been stepping on the walls. It was so bad that in the end we had to go down flat on our tummies. Like when they're telling you in the end that, you should not be straight. You just have to go down on the floor and lay down on your face, with your face down on the floor. We went till this point. It was so scary that, this is something that it was the most scariest part of my time, on the ships. And I remember that the next day we had a very old captain. It was his last season. He was going to retire. And he said, guys, this is the first and the last time in my life that I experienced such thing. And you can consider, he was addressing the passengers, and he said, you can consider yourself lucky because this is one lifetime experience.
Interesting way to phrase it.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that time, but now when I got off the ships and I remember this time, because this is not the only time and not only the occasion that I'm speaking about it, I'm actually understanding more deeper and deeper the meaning of what he said.
But no, was there any serious injuries on board as a result of this?
Oh, there were a lot. No, there were a lot. I mean, a lot of passengers there with the broken hands, legs, from the flying, all the galley and everything was like, it was a mess. It was total mess. I mean, it was funny enough, but I don't remember, nothing after it. I just remember this moment. I remember two moments actually. When I was walking on the walls, and I remember that I jumped over a painting because you remember that there are paintings on the walls, like when you go in the corridors in the passenger area, there are paintings. Yeah. So I jumped over a painting to not break the glass. I mean, to not, damage the glass. And I was like, what I'm doing, I'm jumping on the wall. I mean, I'm on the wall. I mean, I'm jumping over a picture, over a painting. And then a passenger came out from her cabin, and I just literally pushed her, I pushed her down on the floor, and I screamed at her, and I was like, you don't move from here. And I shut the door. And the second moment I remember, when I was down on the floor, face down, and I was like, oh my God, what is going on? I'm like, that's it. I mean, it's imprinted in me, that. After this, I've been to quite a lot of storms, but
that was the biggest one.
Yeah, this was the biggest one.
Do you remember the ship?
I think it was the first ship. I think it was my first ship.
When you were a cabin steward?
Yeah.
Housekeeping?
Yeah.
Wow.
Housekeeping.
Baptism of fire. That's incredible. And also, you were at the youngest point of your career. So your seasickness, how did that cope with it?
Oh my God. That time I didn't even think about it. Believe me.
Yeah.
That time the adrenaline probably in my body, it was so much that you can't think. It was really scary, Sam. I mean,
Yeah.
8 years I'm on board. I've been almost 8 years on board, and I've been really in a very bad, rough seas, in different places. Not like that. Nothing even remotely close to that. But I can say that as much as I hate drills, because I'm sure that 99% of everybody who was working, on board, shippies, how we are calling among ourselves, they're going to tell you that they hate the drills the most. But I can say definitely that this is the one thing that it can save your life. And as boring as and awful it is, I have full trust in it.
What about significant injuries that you yourself may have encountered?
Oh, yeah. So I remember that I had a very, actually on Thompson, I love obviously my cuisine, I mean like Bulgarian cuisine, which we can't find very often. And the only places that I could go and buy typically Bulgarian things, it was Palma de Mallorca.
Okay.
And over there we had a nice shop, Bulgarian shop, small one with all the stuff from Bulgaria. So one day I went over there and I bought some of the things, and one of it was in a tin. So I just, opened the thing. And in the moment that I opened the tin, my third finger, how it called, this middle finger, yeah,
Yeah.
got cut so bad that it got cut till the bone.
Ah.
And it was hanging on literally on a skin and some flesh. It was really bad. It was really bad. And I got so panicked, you know, because I mean, like it's a really serious injury, and you know that over there you have to be in your best shape to be able actually to be on board. Otherwise, they're sending you home. Yeah. So I went to the doctor, like crying, and he gave me 5 stitches, Sam. 5 stitches. He actually saw me without any anesthesia.
Aye. What was in the can?
It's a type of meat, nothing too, like wow and
Well, canned meat is never really that like ooh la la. But when you've had
yeah.
enough, but when you've had enough of eating in the crew mess and on the Lido, you're like, I could
Oh,
do with
yeah.
some canned Bulgarian meat.
Yeah. And the second, I can't say that it's an injury, but it was really scary moment for me. It was on my last contract. I was pregnant. I was on board till my 5.5 month. And I was really, something happened, and I was really having a very bad time. And I had a very big, like a heart palpitations, or I don't know how it's called.
Mm.
My pulse went above 200, and it was really scary because it was in the middle of the night, and the doctor, he was like, we have to calm you down because otherwise you're going to lose the baby. I mean, like it's so severe, and my blood pressure went, like a skyrocket completely, and it was really scary moment.
Did you get flown home?
No, 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 no. It was okay. I mean, like I stayed in the medical, for 1.5, 2 days, and I was fine. Like the doctor, he was Australian at time. I'm not gonna forget about him, Doctor Keith, and he took care of me, and then I finished my contract and flew back home.
So you've got one kid? How many kids have you got?
I have one kid. Yeah, I have one kid. Unfortunately, this kid that I was pregnant on board with it, I lost it. It was a boy,
Oh,
but I
so
lost it on
sorry.
on the later stage. I was 8 months pregnant when I lost him. Again, it was the blood pressure and like the heart. It was the same. It was the same problem, but probably it was from the beginning. It was this problem, like that it was coming, and nobody could figure out what is going on. But it happened, like it happened, and I lost him. And then 5 years later, I was like, everybody was telling me, and the doctors, they told me that I should not have any children because I almost died actually. I mean, like my organs, they stopped during when I lost him, they barely saved me, let's say. And they said, like you should not have children. And I was like, no, this is not the case with me. I mean, like I know that I am going to have a child, and that's it. And 5 years later, I'm having a beautiful girl. Her name is Sanaya, and she is 9 years old now.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that with us, Snejina.
yeah, yeah.
Let's try to make things light again.
Yeah, of course.
Funny stories now. What would you say is your most embarrassing moment?
My most embarrassing moment is on Emerald. We used to have this the stomach bug, like on board.
The norovirus.
The norovirus, yeah. And it was really very bad. And that time I was dating a photographer, and I had to stay in my cabin, yeah. And, I was feeling very ashamed. And there was a time when during the night, how to say it more mild, but it's really embarrassing. But I will say it, I don't give a shit. I literally pooped myself in the bed. It was really bad, man. It was really bad. I mean, like, it's really embarrassing. But I was embarrassed from myself. I was alone in the cabin. It's not embarrassing in front of people, but even for me, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I reached the point where I'm pooping myself in bed. What else is left? He was coming and he was saying, it's a stupid thing, like you can transmit this so easy. But he was saying, we were opening the door and I'm inside of the cabin, he's outside in the corridor, and how narrow are the corridors, there's no point. And I was telling him this story, he was shitting himself laughing.
Oh, not literally.
Yeah, no, not literally. I said, don't laugh, because it's hell, man. You can't even imagine what it is to wake up, during the night and start cleaning and all this.
Did you find your cabin steward and ask them to supply you with new sheets and said, don't worry, I'll change the bed?
I had to ask them, but I changed everything. I mean, I didn't let them, even though I was feeling very ashamed, by giving them in the
Oh, you had to hand over the old stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Did you give them a little tip?
I bought them a bottle of vodka.
Fair enough. That's a good embarrassing story. Shitting the bed.
Yeah. I think that I didn't even tell this story to my husband. I mean, actually my husband is from the ships. He's from P&O. He is a sound engineer and he's Indian.
Oh, okay. You said this gastrointestinal virus was with a photographer who will not be named.
Yeah.
Were there any forbidden romances that you can regale us with?
Wow. I mean, like, ship life, it's it's a strange thing.
It's a romantic whirlwind.
Exactly. I mean, like, it's a romantic love sex frenzy, I can say. I mean, like, for everybody who it's not on the ships,
that's getting clipped.
Yeah. It's not that we are horny all the time. I don't want to leave this, impression in people. But in the end of the day, you are locked, and you're locked for, let's say, my contracts, they are for like 10 or 11 months. So you are locked with same people over and over and over again, 24 hours, 7 days per week, for these 10 months. Mm-hmm. And nobody is there. You don't have friends, you don't have your family, you don't have your loved ones, you don't have anybody. So the smallest attention and, good intention, it's something that everybody is scraping for. I mean, like, it just needs, because you're really alone over there. Mm. And I can say that, after I got married to my husband, that this is the great decision in my life. And if I wasn't on the ships,
you wouldn't have
never gonna. Yeah, exactly. And it's not that I was going and I've been with so many and all this, but I've been with him for 3 contracts. Since the moment that I joined that ship, I've been with him, and I ended up married. On Thompson Destiny, I think I've been with Alex from the bars. Mm-hmm. And I've been all through the contract, with him, and we really shared, a great romance, I can say. unfortunately, life is life, and it's separating you, like with this photographer that I've been on the previous ships, I have been with him one full contract, then one contract I was alone, but we were keeping in touch. Then I tried to go to his country, and we tried to continue our relationship on shore, but it didn't happen. So it's not that it's like how I said, like a love and sex frenzy, but definitely you are finding somebody on board, and you are with somebody.
It's interesting you say that straight off the bat. It was like a love sex frenzy, because when I joined, obviously, you remember me being like a teenage boy.
You've been a teenage boy. You've been so bright and always smiling and full with energy. And, like you were like I don't know. I mean, like,
a baby.
You were really a sunshine ray. I mean, like I can say, definitely.
Oh.
This is the way how I remember you.
But yeah, like for me, it was like I was just so overwhelmed being away from home for the first time that sex wasn't even on my radar, right? I was just oblivious to it. I was just like so enjoying the time I got to spend here, there, and everywhere, meeting people for the first time from this country and that country. I hadn't even had sex. I lost my virginity on my first contract on the Destiny to the singer in the band, the Hungarian girl. But so, yeah, it wasn't because I was in love with her or because of anything other than she just threw herself on me. It's like, notice me, Sam. I was like, oh, sorry, I hadn't picked up on the signals. I'm oblivious. What can I say? But yeah, it was obviously after that, the dam broke. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I could do this a bit more often.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people over there, they're feeling, like more free. This that you're having 4 months or 6 months contract, I think that it's giving to people a little bit more freedom in terms of, like this type of a relationship. But how I said, either you are going to smoke like crazy, either you're going to drink like crazy, either you're going to like crazy. So
or all three.
Like it has to or all three, it has to come from somewhere, like, because it's really intense.
You need an outlet. You need a way to let off steam.
Especially, like I can say, I mean, like it's really hard job. Whoever thinks that it's like a slapping with the fingers and, like enjoying. Yes, we are enjoying, but we are paying so hefty about it. I mean, like it's not funny. People are not realizing how hard people on board, all the crew, it's working. And I don't want even to mention the people which are in the galleys and the people which are down in the engine and the people which are in housekeeping, like which they are actually not seeing a daylight. They don't see any interaction with passengers. They don't see the outlife. They're just working like crazy. We are staff, there is I don't know if anybody of your guests, actually made this separation between crew and staff, because there is difference. Crew are the people which are not having any interaction with passengers, and they don't have nothing in common with the passengers. Even though, let's say, the waiters and the people which are working in the restaurants, they are having interactions with the passengers, they're still considered as a crew. Yeah. But the staff, it's the guys from the entertainment, the Shopees, the photographers, the casino guys, musicians, dancers, entertainment, all in general. So we are blessed because we are having our freedoms. We definitely have more freedoms than the crew. And if I say that we were working hard, you can only imagine how hard the crew actually is working.
Very important to establish.
Yeah, and you really need, to steam out somewhere. I mean, like something, and that's why I'm saying that it's not that we are some kind of a bordello, not at all. But the little love and attention and comfortness, it's needed on board, because you're alone.
Did you go on, as a staff member, many excursions?
Yes.
Did you have any of the excursions that went wrong?
Yes, we've been in Egypt and the bus broke. And usually the people which are cruising, they know that when you're going with a cruise liner, you have to travel quite long time with the bus. Like it's between 2 and 3 hours till you reach the pyramids or you go to the Valley of the Kings.
Yes.
And it's a very extensive, long, full day excursion, really from dawn to dusk. So
the moment you get off that gangway, as soon as the ship is cleared,
exactly
on the bus, foot down, get to the place.
Exactly, yeah. But
snap. Get back on the bus, come straight back.
Exactly, it's very nice excursion because you come to see, like such things like the pyramids and the Valley of the Kings. But in the same time, it's very tiring, and it's really, you're traveling most of the time. I mean, like I think 6 hours or 6 hours and a half. It's only in traveling.
Yeah,
but it's totally worth it. But the point is that our bus broke and it was really bad. I mean, like we had to wait for a repair, and we've been in the middle of nowhere. I mean, like literally in the middle of nowhere. There was only desert and storms around us. And some passengers, they start getting panicked that we don't have enough water and it's this and that. And, that you always have 2-3 people that they are quite panicky mode. And this is a time when we as a staff, it was expected from us, like that we are going to calm down the situation and all this. So we had to take these people, like it was a family, we had to take it aside and we had to, like calm them down, and, like just talk them normally. And it's good that it was fast. The resolve of the situation, it was fast, but not fast enough. It was like almost 3 hours we were staying, with not even aircon and outside of the bus. And it was really, like not pleasant.
Yeah, but then you can argue like, hey, at least the bus is not sinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're on land. We ain't going nowhere. Just calm down. I'm not on the walls jumping over paintings.
Yeah, if you look at it from this perspective.
Did you not like miss the ship as a result? I'm guessing not, because you had all the guests with you. But did you ever miss the ship?
In this particular time, no. But on my first onboarding of the ship that I met my husband, when I went on P&O cruises, actually when I jumped from Louis Cruise Lines to P&O Cruises, my first contract, I had to travel from Bulgaria to Jamaica. And it ended up around 30 hours. 30 hours, 30 hours, yeah. But it was with overnight in Florida. So I was traveling from here to Manchester, from Manchester to Florida. I had to stay overnight, and then from there I had to jump on a plane to Montego Bay in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So it was a hell of a trip, I can tell you, Sam. I mean, like I have so many of these, but I will tell you this. I was traveling, and as soon as I reached Florida, I went with the shuttle bus to the hotel, and over there they told me that the company that I am with, Harding Brothers, but their credit card didn't pass and I have to pay for my stay. And I didn't have anything except one note of $100. I didn't have any credit cards. I didn't have any debit cards. I didn't have anything, I had only a note of $100. And this was the stay,
So that was all you had to literally pay for the accommodation?
Yeah, everything what I had, it was this. In the same time, over there, the plugs are different than Europe. So I didn't have a plug where to plug my laptop or to charge my phone, to get in contact with somebody. Nothing, nada. So it was crazy. And the next day I went back on the airport, and the immigration, they stopped me and they said, you can't travel. And I was like, how I can't travel? I mean, like, it's not possible. I mean, like, I am joining a ship. Today I am joining a ship. It's not possible. They said, you don't have a visa. And I'm like, what visa, man? I mean, like, what visa are you asking from me? I'm a shippy. I am having my letter, you're traveling with a letter that you are joining.
C1D visa.
I have C1D visa, which is for America. I don't have visa for Jamaica.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
And they said you can't board. And I'm like, it's not possible. I'm like, you go check my documents, you check everything, but I have to board, otherwise I am stuck with you. So I can't. I mean, like, I can't move. So they were like, okay, they left me in a room and they checked my documents, whatever they've done, la 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 la. And they said, okay, you can board. I went on the plane and there was a problem with the plane. There was some kind of a malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
We had to stay 4.5 hours back. We stayed for 2 hours in the plane. They took us out. We stayed outside and I was like, oh my God, I have to board the ship. I am going to miss the ship. So I went back and we were flying. And when I land over there in Ocho Rios, I came out and I didn't have any luggage. They misplaced my luggage. So I am traveling 30 hours. I am late in the verge of actually missing the ship. My first contract with this company, I am without a dime. I don't have a spare coin with me. I don't have working laptop. And the phone, it's literally in his, nothing over there. Yeah.
You've arrived in style.
I arrived in style, yeah. So I am getting late, in the airport anyway, because I have to fill up forms and for missing luggage and all this kind of stuff. I'm coming out waiting and expecting actually that there's going to be an agent which is going to meet me. The agent decided to leave.
To leave?
Yeah, to leave. They decided probably, I'm not going to come with this flight or something, whatever. And there is nobody who is waiting for me. I'm on the airport. I have to reach the port. I don't have a dime, nothing. I'm coming out and I see only, I never saw in my life, in real life, I never saw a Rastafari, Here in this part of Eastern Europe, we are not very familiar with Rastafarians, Eastern Europe. I see pitch black outside.
Yeah, and you're
Rastafarians.
And you're like, one, Rastafari.
Yeah, man. I am without a dime. I'm without a luggage, and I have to reach the port. It was hell, absolute hell, I can tell you. And then across of me, I see, this Volkswagen, like a soap type of bus, microbuses, Camper van, yeah. And I see one Rastafari guy, smoking, like a chimney inside. And I'm just going there and I'm like, hello, sir. It's 8:00. It's 8:00 in the night. Yeah, it's in the night. And ship is leaving. Ship is leaving. And I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. And I'm explaining to him what I am, and I'm crying and I'm telling him that I have to reach and I'm telling him all the story. And he's like, no problem, man. Come on. Yeah, we'll go and drive you. And we are traveling in some really dark places, it's islands, from one side is the sea, from the other side is the mountains, and there are no houses, there is no lights, there is nothing. It's dark on the road. Do you understand this? Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And I'm reaching the port and I am jumping out of the van and I'm screaming at him, you come after me, so I have to find somebody. And I see that the ship is there, but it's with the horns. And I'm like, that's it. I lost it. I missed the ship.
You hear the horns, you assume it's taken off.
Yeah, exactly. And it was out, Sam. The gangway, it was up, everything was up, and they were slowly drifting. The autopilot, it was already on board and they were drifting. Oh. And the agent, it was there and my documents and everything was left over there on the port. So they had to contact the captain. And the captain and the autopilot.
How are your documents already there?
Not my personal documents. My documents to join the ship, the one that they're waiting for me on the ship. It's right there with the agent. So they put for me a ladder, like a metal ladder. Yeah. Not even the gangway. The gangway is the metal.
Oh, because you didn't have any luggage. Otherwise, you've been screwed.
Do you know what it means to board a ship on a ladder? Ladder,
That's so
flat,
cool.
flat ladder, and passengers and crew there on the decks, looking at me, how I'm boarding with my ass up,
Out, so
How
you climbed to the top deck?
not to the top deck, but to the gangway. The gangway is just a little bit, higher.
Yeah. Of course. So they opened the hatch. They threw the ladder out.
My gosh, man!
How did you get up onto the ladder?
It was on the pier.
Oh, so you were able to reach the ladder? They had a rope or stick to bring the ladder to you?
Two people from the port, they put their legs, to hold the ladder. Do you understand? And from the other side, the security guys, they were holding it.
Right, okay. Apologies to the audio listeners. Snejina is stamping her foot down to dramatize this entire ordeal, and it's quite a traumatic experience.
It is traumatic.
She's reliving it in full force for your ears as well as your eyes.
Oh, it's crazy, man. It was absolutely insane.
And then don't tell me. So after all of that, you get on board, and then the ship sinks, or that was the ship that went on its side.
No, actually, it was an amazing welcome from the Shopees. It was absolutely amazing. My manager that time, she's an amazing lady. They welcomed me, and it was really amazing. And then Katie was there. I mean, oh my gosh, it was I'm saying these names because they mean so much for me later on.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was really a very scary experience, but it was
Well, after all of that, the 30 hours and all that adventure, that was a podcast in itself. I don't have...
Oh, I can have stories with a pimp in St. Kitts. I have stories.
Okay.
Let's visa in Rome. I mean, it's amazing things. My friends, they're always telling me to write a book about all this experience.
What about most ridiculous questions / complaints or requests from passengers?
First questions for the Shopees, and I'm sure that everybody who is listening and it's a Shopee is going to agree with me. It's how much is the free gift? This is the most common. This is the most common question that they've been asking us. This is something probably it's the most times that we have been asked as a Shopees. How much is the free gift? And you can't explain them that it's a free gift. And they have to buy the thing so they can receive the free gift. I mean,
you have to buy something to receive the free gift. Minimum value of whatever. Yeah,
minimum value of whatever. Yeah, and then they're receiving a free gift,
right.
and the free gift is more appealing for them, and they want to buy it. And we're saying it's a free gift, and they're asking us how much is it?
Yeah, but it's if you go into McDonald's and you want the Happy Meal toy, you can't just go. Can I just have the free
toy? No, you cannot.
You have to buy the toy, or you can buy Happy Meal and get a free toy. They sell the toy on its own.
Yeah, but we are not selling. The point is that we are not selling. I mean, gifts that they are coming, they are not sold, so they don't have a SKU or they don't have a code that you can sell them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not possible. On Ocean Village, we had a guy that it was the first day of the cruise. We just left the port, and he came up on the reception, full covered in shit, Sam. Full covered in shit, top to toe, only with the white,
of his eyes?
Towel. No,
the whites of his eyes were the only thing not covered.
White towel around his waist. And he just stood, in front of the reception, and he said, "Deal with it." He was emotionless. He was completely emotionless, and the ship, it was just actually out of the dock, and they made some changes, some repairs, something. And when he started his shower, actually shit came out from the shower. Do you understand? I mean, he just came white, like a crispy white towel and full cover in shit. They mixed something, the piping. I don't know. They made some problem in the piping, because
And he's walked up. So he's walked up to reception.
To the reception, and he's walking, and there are steps of shit behind him. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then the shops, they are just in Ocean Village there is a square, like Ocean Square, and the reception is down, and you can see, and we see a commotion from around us, and we are just leaning back to see what is going on, and we see this guy. We didn't hear what happened later on in the bar. The guys and the girls from the reception, they told us, but we see a guy only on his back, full covered in shit and with a towel, and he just stood there and told them, deal with it.
That's
That's the best. Just,
Snejina, it's stories like that, which is why I do DeckTales. Where else are you going to get that? Where else are you going to hear that? I don't know, but that is definitely getting clipped.
The other thing that I remember on my first contract, I had a guy who was in the most farthest cabin that it was there on my corridor. And he was like an old chap, probably above his 80s. But he was alone. I don't know why, but doesn't matter. He was alone. There was nobody with him. And he had problem, again, I think with this norovirus or whatever it is. My God, Sam, I never felt this way, in my entire life. This guy, he literally made the whole cabin. It was full of shit.
Oh.
I entered the cabin, as a normal routine, to clean. And I immediately start crying. My tears, they came out, involuntary.
What is my life?
Yeah. Because when I opened the door, the only thing that first of all, I got slammed with the smell of a shit.
Yeah.
Then I saw the steps in the cabin towards the bed, all the bed, it was in shit. The steps then I opened the bathroom toilet, and Sam, everything was in shit. The ceiling, it was with shit. The mirror, it was with shit. The sink, it was with shit. Everything was with shit. Now, it's funny for me because I'm always telling this story, and I'm saying that I will pay all my monthly salary just to find out how he covered everything in shit, how he was spinning his ass so he can turn everything in shit.
Well, was it like smeared on? You have to assume.
And smeared and thrown, like
How old was this man?
Above 80.
Above 80?
Above 80. So I had to order, I had to speak with the guys, the actual cleaners.
The fire department
shampoo.
Came down.
This. And we had to shampoo. And we had to shampoo. I mean, we'd go with a big shampoo machine. We had to shampoo the down not only the poo, the rag down on the floor, everything, everything. The walls we had to scrub with special, detergent, and it's crazy, man. Crazy.
First contract. That's why you went, I'm not doing housekeeping again.
No. This week with this shitting guy, it wasn't, it was a very eventful week. I mean, I had a gay couple, across the corridor, and very familiar to this, I entered their cabin, to clean. And the only thing that I found, it was all over the place, lube. On the walls, lube. There was a little bit shit on the bed, but there were condoms, used condoms down on the floor, with some lots of coins, lots of coins.
Coins?
So coins.
What, in the condoms?
No, down on the floor together
Right.
with the condoms, and I was like, man, when I came, from where I come, what I have done. I mean, it was really eventful week. This week it was really, really, really crazy.
What was the coins for? Feng Shui?
I don't have idea. I didn't ask. They were looking very nice, both of them. I mean, like, I actually really, like I like them, like they were very, like a handsome guys and very well dressed, always smelling nice. But, the cabin, it was complete disaster. I don't know. And I don't want to know what was going on over there.
Yeah.
But the fact that I had to actually clean it, it was like, my gosh.
So you did that one all by yourself.
Yeah.
But the whole
Lube.
why
Lube.
why is lube on the wall? Like
I don't know.
I mean, I'm asking
No.
this question, like why is
I don't know.
like I can't believe I didn't ask why the shit is on the wall as well. Like that's another question. Obviously, there must be something wrong with a person to then go throwing their shit not only on the floor but the ceiling and the walls and
everywhere. I mean, like it was crazy.
I'm gonna
But
need
doesn't matter.
I'm gonna need to take a day off for myself after this call. I'm gonna have to call in sick today just because I'm exhausted, Sneji, from all your shitty lube stories and all
Oh
the rest
my
of
gosh.
it. Bloody hell. Were there any deaths at sea that you remember?
Oh yeah. On this fire, actually, the morgue got broken. There was a problem with it, and the ship by itself, it was really very interesting. Like the architecture of the ship, it was very interesting because the theater, the big theater, it was really huge, massive, with a very high ceiling, old school type of theater with a stage and everything. It was under the water. I mean, like it was on the decks down under the water, and it was from both of the sides of the theater. There were the corridors for the staff and the crew. So from one side it was us, the Shopees, the photographers, and from the other side there were another. I mean, like there was from the restaurants. Because I told you in Sapphire, it was really relatively very, very small ship. And a guy passed away and we couldn't do anything, we had to reach to not only to another port, but we've been in Red Sea. So there's some kind of rules and regulations, and you cannot just leave and take out the body from the ship. There's a certain documentation that you have to, fill in. And apparently the ship or the administration, something, whatever, they didn't have the permission to take out the body. So the body had to travel with us, for a couple of days. And they canceled like the cabaret, the shows, and they put him on the stage wrapped in a carpet. And they were, putting ice constantly, like ice on the carpet on the body, so I can actually sustain the the decomposition and everything. And we had
it just reminds me of that scene in Free Willy when they've got him on the back of the truck and they've got him at a petrol station and they're spraying him down. Okay, Willy, you'll be all right.
The bad thing is that every time when you go to your cabin, you have to go through it, because we had to go through the theater, to enter the corridors, so we could see the folded carpet over there.
That's great. So they're just topping the carpet with ice.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Just to keep it
like
fresh.
A plastic, like a lot of plastics. They put a lot of plastic, like a proper layers of plastic, because the ice is getting melted. And there was probably a machine. I didn't go till there, but probably there was a machine that it was taking the melted water, from there, because it was like an engine thingy, working over there. You can hear like that there's a machine over there. It was crazy, man.
Bloody hell. I think you probably should write a book.
And this is very small part of it.
Well, so
everything what I have.
Okay, well, so I feel like I shouldn't even bother to try asking you any of the other questions I've got. The ones I've got that I haven't asked yet they're probably not going to be very entertaining questions. What nicknames did you have at sea?
Ice Beach.
Ice Bitch.
Yeah.
What, because you were the one putting the ice on the corpse?
No, because earlier we were speaking about the sex frenzy, yeah. So a lot of men and women tried to persuade me to have sex and relationships with them. So I kind of maintain a very cold attitude
Right.
towards people. So I've been looking very severe, and very, very like an ice bitch. Yeah. So
Resting ice bitch face.
yeah. So don't approach me, please.
Yeah, you got fuck
Yeah.
off tattooed on your forehead.
Exactly. So only the very close people to me, they knew my bubbly.
Yeah, I never thought of
like
you as an ice bitch, but then again, I wasn't trying to get you into bed.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to get anyone into bed. It
Yeah.
happened, it
It
happened.
was the opposite.
Yeah. You're probably trying to tuck me into bed.
I can say that, people, they were trying to use you and abuse you.
Like who?
When I'm saying using abuse you, I mean, like, this is the saying, yeah. So they were trying to, have you as a nice, bubbly chap.
Yes, I felt that way at times. I mean, I wasn't abused in any sense. Not that I recall. I just think that, I was so gullible and naive that I believed everything people would tell me. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
you could have made all these stories up, Snejina, and I would just be the same. Like, really? Oh my God, that never happened.
This is how I remember you. I mean, like, you were so pure heart. I mean, like, it's just.
I'm similar still, I think. So if there's any other short stories that you want to share to people, now's the chance.
I think that, I have a lot of stories, but they are not that short, definitely. So, I mean, like, what I can say is that I enjoyed to the max our conversation. It was absolutely amazing, to give me the chance to go back again in this timeline, and yeah, it's amazing what you're doing. It's absolutely amazing that what you're doing, and I wish more people to be like you, and I wish you can succeed in what you're doing, because it's really a great thing.
Thank you, Snejina. I appreciate that.
But I can say definitely that if you are going to be working on the ships, you have to take care of yourself. You have to monitor your drinking, definitely, because this is going to put you in a compromising situation.
And travel with friends and groups.
Yeah. So
have friends that are kind of there to sort of be your wingmen.
Exactly, yeah. So this is not, it's not good thing, you have to take care of yourself. Definitely you have to take care of yourself, and you have to be aware of things that are happening on board. I'm sure about it.
I don't want to end it there because that's too negative, and we had a lovely time talking to each other. Was there anything you wanted to promote?
In terms of what I want to promote, actually, why not promote myself? I mean, like, if somebody needs help, I mean, like, they can definitely come to me for any type of personal, not only issues, but if they want to reach their goals, they're more welcome to come and to help them out. I mean, I have people from America, from UK, from South Africa. I have customers where I'm helping out not only with the personal trauma, and problems and all this, but, if somebody needs a personal coach for development and anything else. I'm energy coach as well. I mean, like, I'm working with energies as well. I graduated in India. I mean, like, I have my Indian certifications as well. So you're very welcome.
What's your contact details?
They can contact me through Facebook, because now, if I have to tell you, it's Life Inception.
So they can contact you. You have a website?
I have my page, it's Life Inception, but it's in Bulgarian. I didn't start my English one because I didn't feel the need for it, because I'm working from mouth to mouth. People are recommending me, so I'm just, I'm having.
That's good. Snejina, I also love the butterfly behind you, because that's like full cycle, the butterfly that you've become, from scrubbing walls of shit to being a life coach who's basically seen it all to help others overcome their challenges. Thank you so much for being a guest on DeckTales. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Take care, my dear. All the best in your future endeavors, and hopefully I'll see you again on DeckTales soon.
Yeah, okay. But I thank you, really, Sam. Thank you. It was amazing. Thank you for having me, and I really, really expect you to invite me again so we can have another great chat and a great laugh.
Will do. All right, darling. Take care. Have a great day.
Have a great day as well, Sam. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
So there you have it, that wraps it up for this episode of DeckTales. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've been entertained by the tales of laughter, camaraderie and the occasional stormy sea, then don't forget to subscribe, rate and leave a review. Your feedback helps us to navigate the podcasting waters and continue bringing you these fascinating stories. Before I sign off, if you'd like to share your own stories for future episodes, then I'd love to hear from you. Simply get in touch over the socials, because after all, the best stories often come from our listeners. As we navigate through the waters of life, remember to enjoy the journey as much as the destination, as well as those you choose to share the adventure with. I've been your captain, Sammy Catlin. Until next time, fair winds, smooth sailing, and may your adventures be as unforgettable as those shared here on DeckTales. Bon voyage!